In the United States, Portland Tzu volunteers host disaster relief to help the fire-affected residents. Teachers and students from Tainan Tzu High School help set up a vaccination venue for students to receive vaccination.
歡迎收睇大 headlines， 我係 Ruby 5，我哋一齊嚟睇下今日嘅內容。In the United States, frequent forest fires happened in the state of Oregon recently. So the volunteers in Portland went to the disaster area to host disaster relief. They found that although the affected residents have lost everything, they still remain positive and cherish what they have. The most important thing is that their beloved ones are by their side.
Rain falls in the forest fire area, echoing the mood of volunteers to go for disaster relief. Warm jackets, socks, eco-friendly blankets, scarves sewn by volunteers, and cash cards are all currently needed by the affected residents. Recalling the time of evacuation, most people said that they had only 1 hour to respond. The elder couple, who have been married for 57 years, said that it was enough to have each other in their life.
Several of these people that are here today are helping. They've been helping for about a week now. We wanted to stay here and rebuild. She convinced me this is where she wants to be.
Oh, okay.
Growing old hand in hand also includes this couple who has married for 33 years.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Oh, that's okay. It's material things because my husband and my son were alive.
Got all of her animals out.
Yes. Yeah.
Took all the pets, even the chickens.
Yeah. 2 dogs. 2 dogs, 2 cats, and 2 chickens. Everybody.
Living in the forest, they are used to the simple life. They seem to have nothing, but they are grateful and face it optimistically.
Never give up. Keep pushing. Stay positive. Stay calm, and be grateful for what you have. Because when you have gratitude, it expands to more things that you can receive. But then also give back and help your neighbor. We have to do it together. Thank you so much. Thank you.
People's reaction inspired Tzu volunteers in Portland not to blame the heavens and others, but to respect the heavens and the earth.
After school started, Tzu volunteers went to Fongbin Township and Fully Township in Huanan's South District to send laptops to the homes of care recipients, hoping to help the children keep up with their learning.
你没有用平板上课啊？没有，那你怎么上课？
Elders taking care of young children and looking after their education is very common in Fongbin Township. The volunteers sent laptop computers to the children there and taught them how to use it.
你会用哈？你要用这边。可以看得到孩子他们在使用这些。
These children are relatively unfamiliar with using electronic products and less skilled in their operation. If they don't have access to 3C equipment, their learning path will be completely stagnant.
部分就会完全的停滞。
The grandmother who took care of her grandson is also helpless when it comes to computers.
我没有办法教啊。
I have no ways. I don't know much.
他们还有一个长辈，就是他们叫做姑婆。
They also have an elder aunt. This aunt has enough knowledge to help them apply for living subsidies.
那个补助方面帮他申请。
As a member of the track and field team, this student surnamed Zhu has won the Tzu Chi New Shoot scholarship many times. She was very happy to have a new laptop.
Because I have to take the exam, I have been given support for 7 subjects. When we study at home, the teacher will assign homework here, but the characters shown in mobile phones are smaller than a laptop.
Volunteers brought blessings, and children now have their own laptops to open the window of learning.
At Kaohsiung Jingxi Hall's Daycare Center, before the Mid-Autumn Festival, many seniors gathered to make mooncakes with Jingxi multigram powder as they record their memory of childhood of making mooncakes with their families.
Flexible dragon fruit dough is stuffed with red bean paste.
我咧吼，这机器啦，这是上网做，我做的。
Making mooncakes is a must before the Mid-Autumn Festival. Seniors at the Kaohsiung Jingsi Hall's Daycare Center recall their childhood memories while making mooncakes.
In the past, my mother sold red turtle's cake. Yes, she made cakes and sold it on the road.
It's fun and I want to learn and try everything.
We have to let them make mooncakes for Mid-Autumn Festival and let them understand the feeling of making things on their own.
Amongst the seniors is 82-year-old Cheng Wu Yingluan. She has become more outgoing after taking classes here.
I never left home before, so at first I missed home. But after being here for a while, I never thought of going home.
At the start, she gave us a boss lady type of feeling, but after she's here for some time, we got along with her and she became more outgoing and positive.
In order to provide healthy mooncakes, these handmade mooncakes are all crafted from Jingsi multigrain powder.
We were afraid of too much oil. We can't accept unhealthy ingredients, so we used our Jingsi products.
Eating happily and healthily, these fun and engaging courses at the daycare center have provided a good place to be for seniors.
At the long-term care center of Kaohsiung Jingsi Hall, senior Chen Baogui found balance in her life here. She has been gambling for 17 years. After joining volunteering work, she is free of gambling addiction and constantly donates for a good cause.
The senior is confident and proud. The mask she is wearing cannot hide her smile. Though behind the smiles, Chen Baogui was once a gambling addict from 17 years old to 87 years old, gambling over 70 years.
I've been playing cards for years. I lost all my money due to gambling. I have nothing left.
This year, Chen Baogui's daughter brought her mother to Tzu Chi's long-term care station. She also brought the senior into community volunteering. This completely changed her life.
I'm happy to be here, so I stopped gambling. I also quit playing cards and started saving money. Whenever I have money, I donate it for vaccines. I'm happy now. My children are also happy too.
Chen Baogui's daughter always wanted to bring their mother onto the right path. She likes a lot of activities here, so now she saves her money and pours it into Bamboo Coin Bank, benefiting the public.
There are a lot of seniors who are too scared to come out. After they're out for a while, they can feel unhappy when they can't be out. It's good. Tzu Chi is great. They're willing to take on this responsibility.
At the long-term care station, Chen Baogui turned her life around as the family is living in peace and harmony.
After the 9/21 earthquake, 134 children became orphans. Our son is one of them. Both his parents died in the earthquake, leaving him and his brother. He never forgot his father's teachings as he worked hard. Now, he is an owner of a motorcycle store in Zhanghua City.
It's September 21st today. It's heartbreaking. I can still recall the incident very clearly. During the earthquake, the ground was shaking. I then smelled dust. And after getting up on my feet, the world was different outside. My parents were silent and we could not say goodbye to them. Other people have parents, but I don't. My father taught me simple things, to do good deeds and not to do anything bad. In my mind, it's empty, but in my heart, I can feel my parents. I don't have to think about them. They're already with me here. That's right. Yourself is important, and it's up to yourself if you want to make it out. If I think like this, my parents will rest in peace.
In Nantou, the campus of Yanping Elementary School is rebuilt by Tzu Chi's Project Hope after the 9/21 earthquake. But then, alumnus Chen Guanzhen was inspired by her teacher to donate to Bamboo Coin Bank. She grew up as a tea merchant and now often goes back to the school to teach students about tea culture.
When the campus was rebuilt, this hand here represents a welcoming and merciful hand, welcoming students into learning happily at Yanping Elementary School.
Actually, when I grew up, I felt the slide here covered up the trauma from the earthquake. When I was little, this brought us a feeling of comfort. During the great earthquake of September 21st, our school was at the epicenter. There was heavy damage in Zhushan, and through Tzu Chi's relief and fundraising, they have helped us get through the tough times.
After the great earthquake of September 21st, I'm very grateful to all the kind people in society. So I encourage students to at least do one good deed per day, which is to save $1 NT a day.
I remember that time when the first thing I did when I got home was to put money into the bamboo coin bank. I made everyone in the family do so as well. I still remember the time when I gave the bamboo coin bank to Master Zhenyan. I felt very happy.
Do it slowly, draw hard. Yes, good.
After the campus was rebuilt, Guanzhen and her mother assisted the school in teaching about tea and the mannerisms. This is more on the cultural level, and because they helped, the school felt different.
We never forget who we are because I know my job is to make tea. As a merchant, they only have to sell their product, but we are doing tea culture promotion. So this is why we go to nearby schools to teach children how to make tea for free.
At the time, the community and several parents adopted trees here. It's been 20 years and it has all grown tall.
I hope students here can learn to be grateful like us. If they have the ability while working outside, they can help people in need.
Tainan Tzu Chi High School is one of the first schools to allow BNT vaccination to students. Teachers and students helped with setting up the venue before vaccination began. The school also established an emergency rescue station and a support station, hoping that students can receive vaccination with peace of mind.
Teachers and students arranged chairs and tables, hoping to set up for BNT vaccinations after Mid-Autumn Festival. The stations here will also be equipped with medical workers.
We kept the routes for doctors to slide around. There's also room for their cots. So starting from children entering the venue to when they leave, they are sitting at one spot while medical workers move around to provide vaccinations.
From seniors to sophomore students, a total of 999 people registered for vaccinations, as parents are still nervous. To settle their nerves, the school established an emergency rescue station and a support station to accompany students.
Although we have a high vaccination sign-up coverage, there will still be students unwilling to get vaccinated. Or these students can't get vaccinated due to a doctor's note, so they will be seated here to wait for their friends.
The support station includes parents. They will be providing vitamin C to students after they receive vaccinations. After a student comes out, they can get a box of vitamin C, and this will also be given to students who haven't received vaccinations.
They will need vitamin C after vaccination. They will increase students' stamina. So we did a lemon water charity cell. It's healthy and it helps with endurance. It also is a seasonal drink.
No matter if students receive a vaccine shot or not, they will be greeted with vitamin supplements. Under the hot sun, let us hope that the vaccination process goes smoothly.
In Miaoli's Tongluo, Yu Guoqian owns an Indian gooseberry orchard with 150 trees after 10 years of planting. All of them will be paid by Tzu Chi volunteers and made into a powder to help sponsor COVID vaccine purchase.
The freshly harvested Indian gooseberry must be carefully selected first.
Leaves and also bad gooseberries need to be picked out.
Volunteers have keen eyes and hands. More than 2,000 kilograms of Indian gooseberry must be handled by evening. The weather is very hot and everyone's clothes are wet with sweat, but they are very happy.
I'm very happy. The most important thing is that we can help sponsor the vaccine. We can still do our best, which makes us feel quite happy.
Master Zhen Yan said that funding for the vaccine is not enough. We must hurry up and do this work. I really enjoyed this.
Mr. Yu of Tongluo, Miao Li, showed his love and compassion and provided Tzu Chi with 150 Indian gooseberry trees which have been planted for 10 years.
We will ask a processing plant to help us, and afterwards, we will make Indian gooseberry powder for a charity sale. It's still a big gap when it comes to the cost of the vaccine, as we Tzu Chi volunteers will have to bear it together.
More than 100 volunteers from Miaoli and Taipei came together to pick Indian gooseberries, sharing their love and compassion.
In Taiwan, there has been a total of 16,000 COVID cases. Yet, leaving the hospital does not mean that a person is fully healed. According to a medical journal, 50% of the patients still experience chest pains and fatigue, which are caused by organ inflammation before, after going home. Though it is not life-threatening, it is advised to seek medical attention if necessary.
I left the hospital around June. At the start, I had chest pain and breathing issues while talking, but now I don't have any breathing issues.
After battling the virus and leaving hospital, patients must face sequelae after going home.
In the acute phase, many organs will go through inflammation, so within a year, some people will have symptoms caused by the damage done to the organs beforehand.
There are a lot of sequelae caused by COVID-19. The most common are symptoms displayed at the lungs. There will be coughing, breathing, and chest pain symptoms. There can also be a decrease in cardiopulmonary function. Some people don't sleep well and have neuro issues like abnormal sense of taste and smell. Some people will have problems in the gastrointestinal tract.
According to the medical journal The Lancet, researchers displayed their clinical results, analyzing 1,200 patients' sequelae after contracting COVID-19. Almost 70% of the patients will have sequelae after a half year departing from the hospital. It drops to 50% after a year. This includes both patients with light or severe symptoms.
Patients with light symptoms will have pulmonary infiltration. Though it does not lack oxygen input, the activity of the lungs will decrease.
Most of the time, we see patients in acute phase going into ICUs. They have obvious symptoms, and it lasts for a long time. As for patients in acute phase living in hospitals versus not living in a hospital, there is no direct correlation in regards to having a sequelae.
Doctors suggest that once a patient discovered related symptoms, they should seek medical attention immediately. If the body goes through inflammation repeatedly, it may cause organ fibrosis and trigger other symptoms.
Taiwanese artist Xiao Yongjie noticed a lack of medical equipment in Malaysia and invited her friends to donate medical devices. And through Tzu Chi, these devices will be sent to hospitals in need.
Malaysian artist Nam Wee's Facebook post wrote that under the pandemic in Malaysia, medical resources began to lack. Inspired by this, artist Jia Yongjie saw an opportunity to do good deeds as she invited her friends to donate medical equipment to Malaysia. And through Tzu Chi, these devices will be sent to hospitals in need.
So it's one started from an artist.
This medical equipment was gathered by Nam Wee, who fundraised from his Taiwanese artist friends before. They have donated a lot.
Upon noticing the hospital's need, Tzu Chi volunteers in Muar immediately sent out 6 PAPRs, 3 syringe pumps, 20 pulse oximetries, 3 HNFCs, and 40 other devices to a hospital in Muar. Tzu Chi also donated 2 PAPRs, 1 ECG, 1 ultrasound machine, 2 laryngoscopes, 2 first aid kits, 3 infrared thermometers, and 10 oxygen regulators to Tangok Hospital.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Once hospital staff noticed that these supplies were gathered by loving and kind people, they were inspired to donate to the Bamboo Coin Bank. During tough times, it is important to fully support these hardworking frontline medical workers.
In Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, a food care distribution point was set up in front of the Tzu Chi free clinic. During the pandemic outbreak, many people did not eat 3 meals a day as Tzu Chi has prepared food and supplies for those in need.
After receiving food and supplies, she has to drag a cart and walk 2 kilometers to get home.
I'm out of breath. It's not very far, but it's very heavy. I really can't do this without this trolley.
In front of the Tzu Chi Free Clinic in Kuala Lumpur, a food care distribution point was set up. Volunteers sent a total of 100 packages of supplies to people in need.
I don't have a job right now. I don't have any salary. Now I can give my kids food for about 2 weeks.
There's no power supply here, so many of our systems rely on mobile phones. Our biggest challenge is the weather.
The weather was not nice. Volunteers immediately got to avoid getting these living supplies wet. Whether it is sunny or rainy, volunteers can respond at any time to provide assistance to those affected by the pandemic.
In Taiwan, cancer patient Mrs. Wu originally lived with her husband and son happily. However, she was diagnosed with lymphoma 2 years ago. She has undergone stem cell transplantation but suffered a serious rejection later, and only by changing her lungs can she survive.
The happiness that seems to be held tightly in the hands is not eternal. Mrs. Wu was diagnosed with lymphoma 2 years ago. She bravely survived chemotherapy and has undergone a stem cell transplant. She thought that everything would be fine, but after a while, there was severe rejection.
Since last Monday, her lungs were no longer functional. Extracorporeal membrane oxygenation has already been applied to replace the function of the lungs.
She has been staying in the intensive care unit for 9 months. Her 6-year-old son misses her very much.
Until now, my wife hasn't given up. She's really brave.
Speaking of his wife's condition, Mr. Wu's eyes were shining with tears. He eagerly hoped that a miracle would happen.
My wife is now waiting for the blood type O lungs. Hang on, my dear, hang on for us. Hang on for a little longer.
According to statistics, as of January this year, the number of people waiting for organ donation in Taiwan currently exceeds 11,000. Among them, 80 people need lung transplantation. However, the number of donors is far from enough. Organ donation requires more efforts and agreement to allow love to continue.
In this year's annual TIMA convention, more than 2,500 medical personnel from 19 countries and regions around the world joined online. 350 of them were from the United States. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you and goodbye.